Do you get to speak with the violators? Did you talk to Prime Minister Netanyahu last night?
I think everybody.
You urge both sides not to violate the ceasefire, but reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So
I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay? I think it's been completely demolished. I think the reason we're here is because those pilots, those B-2 pilots, did an unbelievable job. And, you know, the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSNBC. They're all, and frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean. Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSNBC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers. You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people. And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSNBC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
All right. Well, folks, we are back, Pop in Politics. All the ladies are here for today's Pop In. Again, this is just a quick hit to keep you in the know with what's hot in the news right now. We were here live last night to bring you the ceasefire and things like that. And now we want to talk about what has transpired this morning. As you guys come in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Pop in Politics, your go-to Pop In for bold takes, real talk, and conservatives' points of view. All right, ladies, let's set it off. Again, that was just this morning. President Trump on the lawn, pissed off over what happened after he declared the ceasefire last night. So those were heated remarks on the White House lawn. Trump posted to Truth Social that he still believes, after those remarks, he said the ceasefire is still in effect.
Listen, it was the F-bomb heard around the world. There are podcasters dedicating a whole show to the F-bomb. Not that I've been participating, but yeah. Here, Donald Trump has had enough. He is like an angry father whose kids won't stop fighting. He has had enough. And I think you're starting to see some of that irritation in some of the language that he's choosing. America also has to remember he's a New Yorker, and they do use, sort of colorful language every now and again, and a grown man. So there's that. But I agree with him that, everybody agreed to peace, but he gave them a time window, and Israel took full advantage of that time window.
Yeah. But as his naysayers have been saying, Shelley, they were saying that Israel was leading him around, but it looks like he was still in control of this whole situation. What are your thoughts on that exchange?
First of all, that exchange, it refreshes me. Let me tell you why. Because it's real. It's a real person, a real man. Yes, he's the president, the leader of the free world, if not the world. But yes, but he's real. And I got a little sayings in my little bag. I call it my bag of life pit tricks or whatever. When someone tells me, "Oh, I never cares." Bullshit. Okay, I know right off the bat you are a phony person, and I probably have about that much tolerance for you. Okay, I never curse. It's not whatever. Anyway, President Trump is real. Give me real any day. Okay, I will take real. Number one. Number two, President Trump is in control. He has been in control since he came down that gold escalator in 2015. He's been in control. Most of the media don't like it, particularly the legacy or mainstream media. Much of the world, so-called the media, told us they didn't like it, but we know that's not true. And it looks like right now he has been in control, working with Bibi Netanyahu, of course. But Iran now knows he's in control.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
even yesterday, I was happy for announcement of the ceasefire, but it's shaky. The Middle East is a tricky matter,
Right.
and it's interesting how U.S. responds to the Middle East. It's very new world response. It's very like, yes, we'll fix this problem within 2 weeks, but the Middle East is thousands of years old. So I hope that this lasts. And America needs to keep showing strength. That's the only way this peace is going to last. We have to keep being strong and showing that we're the ones who are in control.
So we have the ceasefire, but let's go back to President Trump had a lot of naysayers. Here's a clip of Candace Owens and Ian Carroll on June 16th. During this, I guess you can call it 12-day war, and they actually sound gleeful about war. They sound gleeful. They're celebrating it being right. In actuality, it turns out she was wrong.
Apparently, I'm back in time for World War III, and I hate to say that we told you so. By we, I mean me and Ian Carroll. Ian, I mean, it's incredible. And it's looking like we may be going to war, which either I had a crystal ball, you had a crystal ball, could see into the future, or this has been the most obvious and the most planned war in the history. And we're not the only ones.
A lot of people saw it coming. It was clearly the agenda. It's about much bigger things and about destabilizing the region. It's not about the nukes. And so the players that are planning things like this, they're not really concerned with what Trump wants or doesn't want. I think that Trump would be very easily swayed to think all you need to do is show him some intelligence reports, show him some spooky stuff about Iran's stockpile of almost nuclear material, and be like, look, they almost have a bomb.
So I trust Tucker beyond, more than any person in politics. The MAGA movement is going to change, okay? Yeah. And there's no question about that. Do you have Dave Smith's tweet? Yeah, there's a tweet where he explains, he's talking about the Trump dilemma, and I think it's very well written.
Yeah, Trump is on the edge right now. He's ready to burn his entire legacy to the ground because everything was laid out for him. All he had to do was close the border, deport a bunch of people, and not go to war. And so far, it's failing on all three counts and actually going to the wars we didn't want. And it's really sad.
This is going to be the one, the Candace is right jar. But I'm not. It's not even that I'm right. I'm just paying attention. I'm just paying attention to stuff.
Wrong.
Let me say this. Now, I will admit I hold grudges. I do. I hold grudges. It takes me a while to get over, when I feel like I have been, given the finger or whatever the case may be. It does. It takes me a while. I do hold grudges. But I don't think in all of my adult years that I have been aware of this Middle East, Iran, Iraq, any kind of Middle East problem. I have never been gleeful about a ceasefire that has not worked, that has failed. I was not gleeful with the Camp David Accords when President Clinton was trying to work out something. I wasn't gleeful when Reagan was in office when it fell through. I have never been gleeful, regardless of who's president, regardless of which side is trying to work out some of the the ceasefires. Never have I been gleeful about that. So for Candace Owens, she seems to be wanting to just say, "I told you so. I told you so," for the sake of saying, "I told you so." Yes, she was wrong. And in these tenuous matters, like Yana said, the Middle East is thousands of years old, okay? And there are deep-seated religious, political, cultural, social problems that have been brewing and festering for long periods of time. No way do I think, let me say this, to President Trump's credit and to Prime Minister Netanyahu's credit, I'm for the ceasefire. Does that mean I believe that Iran will never stir up trouble again? Hell freaking no. Okay? Hell no. But for now, we have a ceasefire, which I think when lives can be saved and lives can be spared for whatever time period, particularly innocent lives, then I am happy about that, regardless of who's brokering the deal.
Yeah, being right is a hot commodity for Candace. She's built a career on her declaring herself smarter than everyone else and always right, even when she's absolutely wrong. The video didn't age well, and dare I say, she has a lot of videos that have not aged well, but it's interesting to see their take on young people who have or become a part of the MAGA movement. It seems to me that they're trying to attract them to this MAGA light version of events. It's unfortunate. I think it's going to cost their long run subscribers, viewers, likes, and people are really going to start looking at the motives behind some of the things that she's saying.
Absolutely. Yana, I mean, did you hear them? They're talking about the MAGA movement is going to change. Trump is on the edge. He's burning his legacy to the ground. And she's like giddy about it. I mean, this doesn't sound like somebody that was, part of the MAGA movement, wants to see America thrive. It sounds more like she just wants to be right. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, and that guy Ian, whoever he is,
Right.
he was laughing. He really gave me like a disgusted feeling when I saw him with his Marxist mustache laughing about this matter. And it's like, who are they? These are not Americans. If you're pro-American, if you're for this country, and you're not going to be happy for the war to continue. It's sad. It's really sad for me to see this. And like I was saying, Candace Owens is narcissistic. All she's doing is she's trying to get attention for herself. She does think that she's some kind of luminary.
Yeah.
And that's why she's doing this.
And here's Jasmine Crockett, and she feels like she should have been asked for the input of before they did these strikes. Take a look.
And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a fucking decision or at least get a vote. But it's Ron that's telling me. Right. So literally, like,
Okay. So we know now today, guys, we just want to keep you up to date. They have started impeachment again. Which is ridiculous. Nicole, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? They're saying that President Trump did not have the authority to launch these strikes on the Iranian nuclear facilities, and now they're calling for impeachment.
Well, as per usual, they're on the wrong side of history. The commander-in-chief has every right to command the armed forces. He did not declare war. We are not at war. But what's interesting is Ms. Crockett, she's got a lot on her plate. I'm going to give her that, right? I mean, her district in Dallas, crime is high. Now, it has lowered, but it's still higher than the national average. Homelessness, joblessness, single motherhood, that she's got a rack of problems on her hands, including drug problems that we all in this nation are facing. So if she's looking for some place to have some input, that would be a great place to start, actually helping the people you were elected to help. But as she fancies herself someone who's making a play for a national stage, I would offer her this bit of political advice. Everyone likes someone who's focused. Focus in on the things that you can fix. This is not broken. He broke no laws. He followed the Constitution. He does not have to tell the entire Gang of Eight what's going on. He contacted the leaders in your party, and if Hakeem Jeffries chose not to answer the phone, that's a problem for him, not a problem for Trump.
Absolutely. Shelley, you saw in the background, I don't know if you caught him.
Don't say it. I was gonna don't say it. Wherever there is foolishness, there you can find Ben Crump. I was gonna ask, was that him? Don't say it. Oh my gosh. He's sitting there, wiping off his sleeves or whatever. They are such frauds. But let me add on to Nicole's about Miss Crockett here, okay? Whether or not you agree or whatever side you fall on, the United States presidents do and have for long periods of time have declared conflicts or what they call undeclared wars, if you will. But they have initiated engagements using our military to do so. Even as far back as the Korean War, Vietnam War, you have the wars in Afghanistan, not to mention other what they call skirmishes or battles or whatever in South America, Panama, Lebanon, over in the Middle East. So there have been many that the U.S. presidents have initiated to protect U.S. assets and in some cases work with our allies, in this case, Israel. So Jasmine Crockett, the only input I want you to have is someone putting their foot in your damn mouth. That's what I want. That's what I want to see. Putting a foot in your mouth. I really would like to see that. And I wish Ben Crump, because whenever he's around, it just makes things a little that much more skeptical and nefarious.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yana, what are your thoughts on her notes there? She felt like they should have been referred to.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, we have men in charge. We have people in charge who understand foreign policy. And this lady, she needs to take care of her constituents, her district, and what she was voted for. Why, and with this kind of uneducated attitude that she has about herself, why should we listen to her?
Absolutely. Final thoughts. How will the 12-day war and the ceasefire affect this GOP mega bill? Your thoughts on that, Nicole?
Listen, Trump has already said it's a lock-in until you get it right. Both houses have said yes, that we're going to get it done. It would be great if we get it by July 4th. It would be wonderful if we could get it by then. It's looking more and more like Labor Day, which is problematic. But if they lock in and get it done, the Senate does its thing this week. If they can get it done by Thursday, then maybe by July 4th, we'll have yet another thing to celebrate in this great nation.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Shelley?
Yeah, I said before, I think there will be some fracturing in the party. I don't think it's going to be significant. Of course, again, I'm all for free speech. Even the Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson's, say what you wish, what you will. However, my focus again, Congress and the Senate. John Thune, you need to be moving stuff through. Johnson, you need to be moving stuff through, getting these committees in order. This is unacceptable. It should not even take until July 4th. It should be, I'm going to say June 30th, okay? It should be done, a signed deal. It should be signed, sealed, delivered, in the words of Stevie Wonder. This is unacceptable. It should not be Labor Day. What are you doing? You're not declaring war. There is no war. Doge should still be in effect. You need to be cutting out spending and locking in on these permanent bills. This is what Americans want and need from you.
Yeah. Yana, should President Trump get a Nobel Peace Prize?
I have to be balanced right now because we can't be so quick on declaring what is going on in the Middle East. We have to watch. We need to have strength, like I said, and diplomacy at the same time. It needs to go hand in hand. That's the only way that we can have lasting peace. If there's lasting peace, then yes, he should get the Nobel Peace Prize.
All right. That does it for us today, folks. As you guys are here, please like, share, and subscribe to Poppin' Politics, your go-to Poppin' for bold takes, real talk, and conservative point of view. All right. We will see you on Wednesday for our full live show on Wednesday at 8 p.m. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.